I'm Scott Anger. I'm a private investigator. I'd been out of the office for a month doing a little too much thinking and a lot too much drinking. Now I was out of the gutter and back at my desk. I needed something to get me back into the swing of things. 2 seconds later, she walked in.
Mr. Spencer?
No, I'm Scott Anger. That's Ralph Spencer over there.
Ma'am?
How can we help you, Mrs.
Klein. Miss Carol Klein. It's my brother, Dan. We're from Oregon, and he has a job here in the city. He always sends a check home, every month, always. Nothing came in June. Now it's nearly the end of July. I'm so worried. The police have not been helpful.
They're not as a rule, Miss Klein, but we are. Our fee is $20 a day with a $100 retainer.
That's an awful lot of money, Mr. Anger.
I'm sure your brother is worth it. We'll need a photo.
Yes, of course.
Tell me about him.
He was boarding at 224 Mason Street. But I found out it was knocked down in May. I don't know where he is or who his friends are. In his last letter, he did say he'd met a girl.
Maybe they eloped.
Dan would never do anything shameful.
Of course he wouldn't. Where can I contact you, Miss Klein?
I live in Yellow Plains, Oregon. I'm afraid I don't have a phone. Please write me when you find him.
I'll do better than that. I'll bring him home.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's been a while since I made a woman smile. It made me want to find her brother, so I could see that smile again. What do you reckon, Ralph?
I reckon Dan didn't put much into those letters, unless she knows more than she's telling. But her money's good, and that buys 3 days of your time.
Only 3 days?
That's right. On August 1st, you start a new case. You're taking the train to New York to put a tail on a crooked lawyer named Thurston Granger. So get going, partner.
Hello and welcome to The Dame Was Loaded. This game has been on my list for quite a long time now. It's one of those games where I was very aware of this game when I was a kid. Well, I say a kid. This game was released in 1996. I was 13. But I never got the chance to play it back then. So I'm quite excited to be playing it now. This is a film noir adventure game set in the 1940s. And it doesn't take itself too seriously, which is something that I am enjoying quite a bit. So, before we begin, let's take a look at our inventory. We have a wallet, and we can take out various decimals in notes. How do we place this back in here? Oh, no.
My typewriter. I type up every case.
Well, the typewriter also acts as our options menu as well. We have a watch. We can advance time if we want to, which is quite handy in certain situations. All the actions that we make in this game advance time in certain degrees. We have 3 days to crack this case. We need to find Dan by July 31st, which is fair enough. We can try. Find missing brother Dan. So that's all we have to go on right now. We do have 2 pieces of inventory. That is a photo of Dan and the private investigator license.
Smiling Dan. I hope he's still smiling, wherever he is. My license. It lets me operate as a private investigator, so long as I don't break the law, cause trouble, and don't chew with my mouth open.
Yes, we are Scott Anger. private investigator.
My desk. It's old, pitted, scarred, beaten up, and worn out. Like me. A fountain pen. There are two kinds of pens in this world, the kind that leak and the kind you lose.
I'm guessing this one leaks.
My camera. People take photographs to preserve happy memories. I take photographs of unhappy memories for other people. A photo of Angela Donald. She's dead now. My fault. I don't want to think about it because if I do, I'll need a drink and then another, and before long I'll be waking face down in the gutter again. The desk drawers. 3 generations of Angers have left them full of betting slips, gum wrappers, and empty whiskey bottles. An engagement ring. I gave this to a reporter called Francine Henderson. 3 months later, she found me in Angela's arms. Now, Angela is dead, Frankie still hasn't forgiven me, and this ring is just a pretty stone on a shining band of metal.
Oh dear, you naughty boy. I think that's all that we can see from our desk. We can go straight out the door, but I'm not going to do that just yet. Yeah, we may as well keep the place tidy.
My hat makes a man look dignified. My trench coat, it can stay there until the heat wave passes.
I'm not going to interact with the sofa or couch, if you're American, as this makes you take a nap.
My closet.
And that is that. Right. It's quite weird navigating around here. We can only access this area from the desk.
What do you reckon, Ralph?
I reckon Dan Klein might have made the news. Check the newspaper. Maybe he's been arrested. Check the police station. Maybe he's hiding out. Check at Jake's joint. Hell, maybe he's been elected mayor.
A telephone bill. They won 141.23 by August 1st. Must be all those phone calls I made to Australia when I was drunk. I'd never call Australia when I was sober.
Leave it, Scott. I'll pay it.
Cigarettes. I only smoke when I'm on fire.
Actual branded cigarettes as well.
That's one you owe me.
A phone. A device which improves communication. Since we've had phones, we've had more crime, more divorce, and bigger wars.
No, you don't. We can't even afford the last phone bill.
This is important.
So is money. Vamoose.
My associate, Ralph Spencer. Most people have a sleeping partner. Mine snores. Ralph's notices. Only of importance to Ralph. A calendar shows you where the year's gone, but never shows you how to get it back. The bathroom cupboard. We can't afford the rest of the bathroom. It's empty. A wash basin. A plunger. We have a lot in common. We're both suckers.
Oh, yeah. I locked the back door for safety reasons. Remember that time you staggered out loaded and fell clear down the back stairs? No, of course you wouldn't. Get the front door, will you? I'll unlock the back door for you.
I want my rent now. Today. 150 smackaroos.
Hello to you too.
Say, Jack.
Jack nothing, fella. I want money, not one of your lame excuses. Nobody wants to buy your lame excuses.
That's okay. I ain't selling them.
No, you don't, bub.
Yeah, we can't actually leave this screen until we give this guy his money. Or at least some money. We do not have the full amount, so hopefully he will accept 50 for now.
That'll do. But I want the rest in 7 days or you're both out.
Thanks for backing me up there, Ralph.
Sorry, Scott. I'll handle him next time.
Better do a good job. I think he's serious.
If we go out the front door, it will take us straight to our car. If we go out the back door, we have one more location we can explore before we get to our car.
Not without my hat. The alley next to our office. The place where Angela was killed. Heat wave or not, I'm always cold here. Bullet holes from that night. The cops got the bullets. I got lonely. The back stairs to the office. If you move too fast, the whole thing starts shaking. Trash cans. Full ones. Those bins are talking, and I don't like the lingo. Yesterday's newspapers. They're just like me. Crumpled, dirty, and full of the past. I don't like the smell of what was wrapped in them. The back door to Sal's drugstore. I don't shop there as a rule. Sal pinches his pennies so hard he bruises them. It's nailed shut. Sal did that after 2 kids lifted a candy bar and ran out through the back. He hates to give anything away. I don't know why I came here. The bullet holes in the wall are the same as they were when I looked at them drunk the other million times. My car, it has an engine that runs and the right amount of wheels. The horn. It lets you abuse people without having to wind the window down. The rear view mirror. Useful for checking for lipstick on my collar, for straightening my tie, and for seeing if there are any black cars stuffed with goons following me. The radio. It's good company, and it shuts up when you want it to.
Oh wow, that is quite loud. Now, we do have plenty of places to explore.
With good weather and only as much speeding as is considered polite, it's a 3-day round trip to Oregon. That's more time than I have.
Okay, I can't seem to get out of here to turn off the radio. So let's continue to the next location. And we'll do some more exploring when we have a bit more silence.
Mac the barber. I'm always polite to Mac. Never insult a man who's handy with a cutthroat razor. Howdy, Mac.
Hey, Scott.
July 29. Morning edition. Mayor announces new crime reform. Seems the mayor thinks there are too many criminals running around, so he's going to teach them a lesson. Let me guess. Spelling? Math? The back door. I don't go back there. I tried once, but Mac caught me and gave me a bad haircut. Mac the barber. He gives a smooth shave for a man with one eye and 9 fingers. How about the mayor's new angle?
I didn't vote for him.
You didn't have to. Most of the people in the cemetery did. Tell me about Angela Donald.
You don't talk to me about your private eye work, and I won't talk to you about dandruff.
Tell me about Dan Klein.
Look, Scott, I run a clean shop with a tight lip. That way I don't get no grief from anyone.
Apparently Mac is good for the gossip around town, and if we visit him every day, he has new information for us, but it seems today he is quite tight-lipped.
The barber's chair. Real comfortable. I'd get one for the office, but I have trouble typing upside down.
Towel time.
I tell you, Scott, what's got 4 legs and smells like glue? Periwig. Is that horse a nag or what? Do you believe it? Tiger's Revenge, race 4, 10 on the nose. Got it.
Finish. You got my nickel?
Have a nice day, Scott.
Mac seems to like his horses.
See you tomorrow, Scott.
Yeah, I will probably turn it back on when we don't have so much dialogue, as every new location that we visit, Scott will decide to give us some more information about it.
Jake's is closed. Jake and his regulars are all sleeping peacefully in a puddle of gin. There's no point in visiting a hole in the ground. I won't find Dan hiding in it. Meg's Diner. Not much wrong with it, except the customers don't talk, the staff are rude, and the food's lousy. Reminds me of home. Meg is never glad to see me, and she never says goodbye. Hello, Meg. You can't buy that sort of honesty. Same old news. Meg, the only thing harder than her heart is her scrambled eggs. How about the mayor's new angle?
As if I care.
Tell me about Dan Klein.
Are you chewing or chat?
Tell me about Angela Donald.
She seems friendly enough.
The menu. It never changes.
We can order anything that we like, but for now, let's get the donuts and coffee.
Donuts and coffee, thanks.
Ah, service with a smile.
Not bad. Reminded me of coffee. I'm full. I'll save this for later. A donut. A cup.
I don't think we actually need this cup. Maybe I should have stolen it anyway.
Where's the tip?
Where's the service? The city police station, guaranteed to contain criminals, police, and bad coffee. Officer Jim Denton, When I first met him, Denton had a wife, a job in homicide, and a stomach ulcer. The wife skipped. The homicide job went when he stood up for me the time I got caught concealing evidence. Now he's got a dead-end posting at the front desk. He's still got the ulcer.
Hey! Look what dragged himself up out of the gutter.
Glad I've got your sympathy.
I'm oozing sympathy today, but no more shootouts, okay?
I was drunk.
What if it would have been people and not bottles? I like you, Anger. I'll let you go. But if I catch you with a gun again, I'm gonna revoke your private investigator's license, and you're out of work, you understand?
You're all heart.
Glad to see you back, Anger. I mean that. Are you on a case, or are you here to practice your insults?
It seems like he's happy to see us, but we can actually anger him to a point where he kicks us out. Not permanently, but it still wastes a bit of time.
A piece of paper. I can't read it from here.
That's police business.
Do I look like I got nothing to do except your work?
The police notice board. Who's on duty, who's on leave, and who's on top in the department-wide Tiddlywinks tournament. Police regulation coffee. Officer Jim Denton.
Before we speak to Jim Denton, let's give him a present. Put him in a good mood.
Thanks. I better get a refill.
And also steal his paperwork.
A raid roster. It's a schedule of upcoming license raids on clubs. Let me see. August the 1st. Rostered officers, Scully and Coleman. Establishment, number 1, Dog Alley. Proprietor, Jacob Turner. Denton's pen. Nah, I think he's been using it to stir his coffee. Denton's donut. I just gave it to him. I can't take it back. Tell me about Dan Klein.
Never heard of him. I guess he ain't done anything wrong yet.
Oh, it seems like these are slightly misaligned.
How about the mayor's new angle?
He's letting all the criminals out of jail to reform themselves.
Tell me about Angela Donald.
Anger, I'm telling you this once. We're taking care of that, and I don't want you looking into it. If anybody gets hurt, you're gonna be charged. You understand?
Yes, sir.
That's Dan Small.
Dan Small?
Pretty sure.
So, Dan Klein is known around town as Dan Small. A man with an alias is a man with a secret. Tell me about Dan Small.
I'm busy, Anger. Don't waste my time.
Police regulation coffee. Whoa, Meg's coffee is bad enough.
We can ask for records, but if we send Denton on a wild goose chase, then he will kick us out. I think after the second occasion that happens.
Stay out of trouble till I see you again.
Depends on where you see me.
Depends on where the trouble is.
The Tribune wakes the town with the latest scandal and strife, and then serves up seconds in the afternoon edition at 2 o'clock. If you want old news, you can dig in the Tribune's morgue. Old news, like Frankie and me. Frankie Henderson. It's a man's world, so she got a man's name to work in it. We had a thing going once, but then she found Angela and I together, close together. I was gonna tell her. Trusted journalist to find out first. Hello, Frankie.
Hello, Scott.
Are you pleased to see me?
In this place, I'm pleased to see a cockroach. Sure I am. You're conscious? I like that in a man.
Clean, sober, and back in business.
Business? I should have known you weren't just here to see me.
July 29. Afternoon edition. Nothing new in the afternoon edition. I guess they haven't had a chance to make up any more news. The newspaper morgue. In there are cuttings from every edition in the Tribune's life. It fits the definition of a morgue, full of ghosts and heartache and corpses.
Be my guest.
What have you got on Dan Small?
Nothing.
Nothing. Dan never made the news, so he's either very, very good or exactly the opposite. What have you got on Angela Donald?
What's done is done, Scott. That woman has hurt you enough. Let the police handle it.
Bottles of ink. I can see black, blue, and red. Give me green and yellow, and I could draw the flags of all nations.
Hands off.
Frankie's typewriter. A machine as old as this ought to be retired and out to grass.
Hands off.
All right, then. That's told us.
Francine Henderson. How about the mayor's new angle?
He's gonna get the criminals off the streets by giving them jobs at City Hall.
Tell me about Dan Small.
Never heard of him either. What is it with all these guys named Dan? Newspapers don't write themselves, Scott. I'm busy.
Tell me about Angela Donald.
You'll never forget her, will you? She'll always be between us. Au revoir, Scott. That's French for see you later.
All right, now that we have done the rounds, let's head back to the police station. Oh, sorry, Anger's office.
My office. It's on the second story of an old brownstone facing the street. It suits me. I can keep an eye on my hubcaps. They're worth more if you've got the full set. Here I am again. Every private investigator has an office, same as every dog has a kennel. Mine doesn't have quite as many old bones lying around. Siesta time.
Good night, partner.
Likewise.